wisdom,
prudentia,
justice,
justitia,
temperance,
temperantia,
courage.
fortitudo.
Applying ancient philosophy to modern life, this is the Sunday Stoic.
Hey everyone, time for a short midweek episode. On Sunday we had an interview with Kai Whiting, and didn't really talk about this month's theme, which is Seneca, so I thought I'd rectify that ill by having a quick reading from Seneca and a little discussion. So let me just do this reading first. I know that all this has often been said, and should often be repeated, but neither when I read them were such precepts so effective with me, nor when I heard them from the lips of those who were at a safe distance from the fear of the things which they declared were not to be feared. But this old man had the greatest weight with me when he discussed death, and death was near. For I must tell you what I myself think. I hold that one is braver at the very moment of death than when one is approaching death. For death, when it stands near us, gives even to inexperienced men the courage not to seek to avoid the inevitable. So the gladiator, who throughout the fight has been no matter how faint-hearted, offers his throat to his opponent and directs the wavering blade to the vital spot. But an end that is near at hand is bound to come, and calls for tenacious courage of the soul. This is a rarer thing, and none but the wise man can manifest it. This is a short snippet from Seneca, of course, but what he's saying here is we hear, and if we read philosophy like we do on this podcast, we read all these things about why death is not an evil and how we should make the best of life, or make the most use of life we can, and not to fear death. But a lot of times, you hear this advice from people. In our case, they're long dead a lot of the times, but you hear it from people who are middle-aged and not facing immediate death. And so it may not seem convincing. But Seneca says he was the most convinced when he heard an old man who was at death's door telling him not to fear death. And Seneca thinks that growing old is far more challenging than having a sword put to your throat. He comments about the idea that when your house is on fire or there's a sword at your throat, you can accept death fairly readily, even without training. And part of the reason you can accept it is there's always a glimmer of hope. Fires go out. Foes show mercy on the vanquished. Earthquakes may drop a house around you without hurting you. So there's always a chance you'll get out. And in that instant when you face death, you might just accept it. But if it's a long time coming, but absolutely inevitable, because death for the old, death for everyone, is inevitable. You see it coming a long way off as you grow older. You can escape a fire, you can escape a sword, but you can't escape old age, and therefore it absolutely is coming, and therefore it takes a much more stoic strength to look at that and be okay with it. Now, we're not going to go into ways to deal with being okay with it today, other than the knowledge that we should use logic to understand that it's inevitable, it's out of our power, and that we should make the best out of each and every day, so that when we get to the end, we might kind of lament having to go, but it's inevitable, but we won't regret misusing the time we did have. I myself think of that a lot right now. My son's going in for surgery. Nothing major, but every time there's surgery, there's risk. And so I think about just using every day wisely with him. That's why I've taken off early a few days this week from work and spent time with my son. I hope you can do the same when opportunity allows. So, I hope you have a good week. If my Sunday episode's a little late this week, it's because I'm helping my son recover from surgery. So if you want to wish him well, send him a get well message. His name's Charlie, and you can email sundaystoic@gmail.com. All right, everybody, have a good week, and I'll talk to you on Sunday. We're going to talk a little bit about Seneca this week, again, of course, and I think we're going to focus on anger. Seneca's advice for controlling anger. I'll see you then. Carpe diem.
Thank you for listening to The Sunday Stoic. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate, and review The Sunday Stoic on iTunes. Become a member of the Sunday Stoic team, earn rewards, and be an integral part of the show by becoming a patron at www.patreon.com/SundayStoic. Contact the show by emailing sundaystoic@gmail.com or by leaving a voicemail at 501-503-3132. To find out more, visit www.sundaystoicpodcast.com. And as Steve always says, Carpe Diem.